Okay, there's a couple of little tricks here for installing the Guardian Vision software on a PC. And this tutorial is going to go through the process of installing it. A couple of things will come up along the way. Software sometimes wants to have protections granted to install. So we're going to say okay to that. It's going to ask you if it's okay to publish. Yes. Let's let this run. And then it's going to come up and it's going to ask you what you want to install. Well, the only thing we want is video. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to begin the process of unchecking all of these boxes. We just want video. Install. Come up with a progress bar. Depending upon the speed of the machine, it'll take a minute for this to go in. There's a couple of different ways to get connected to your client. One might be through a peer-to-peer connection. I'll show you where that is. Another might be that you have the IP address. And depending upon what information you have, you'll program it in a different location. We'll show you that in just a minute. You do have to create credentials for this software when you install it for the first time. The other thing you want to do is you probably want to create a folder. Let's create a new folder here. Okay, we'll finish this. We're going to create a new folder real quick. We're going to call this folder video. And there's a couple of things we want to put in here. We want to put in a place for still video to go to. So we're going to create a still pictures to go to. So we're going to call this still images. And then we'll create another folder. And we'll call this one video downloads. And then we're going to create another one and we're going to call it install software. The icon for the client software and the icon for the installation package, the icons are identical. So if you've downloaded the client software and you have the icon on the desktop, I'm going to coach you to put it here in your install software folder so the client, the end user, isn't opening up the client installation by accident, the executable file. They only ever see the actual client software itself instead of the installation executable file. So once you have this, and again, you'll see where we're going to use this in just a minute. Close that. We're going to disable software upgrades. This page right here is us creating a password for the client software on this PC in case it's a shared PC. The overwhelming amount of time that you install this, that will not be the case. It will be a PC that only one user has. So I always set it up to do an auto login so that the end user doesn't have to log into the software every time they open up the client. So we're going to go ahead and say log in. We'll just come up with something simple here. Any answer will do. Any answer will do. Just fine. So now we've created a login credential, but we've told it to auto log in. So we're never going to have to type in that login or password. And we've also created a folder right here that has your install software, which is where, again, I want you to put the client executable file. And then you have the still images, which is we're going to direct toward that in just a minute, and then we have the video downloads. And I'm gonna put my install executable file in here. So here's the executable file. It is in under video install software. So now that icon is no longer on my desktop, and I won't accidentally click on that instead of the actual client software. I'm not going to click on the client executable install file. So let's just run over here to kind of give you an idea. Here's the client icon, and here's what the executable file looks like. So see how they're so identical? So that's why we get rid of this one and we move it over here so we don't accidentally click on it. All right, so let's back out of here, and now let's go into this client software. Over here to the right, you're going to see device management. This is where we add a device, and if you have a cloud peer-to-peer account, you're going to click on Cloud P2P, and you're going to say OK to this. And this is where you enter your credentials. So if your end user has a peer-to-peer account, this is where they're going to put in their username, which is typically an email address, and the password that they created. You'll click on I agree, and you'll click on login. And then it will use the peer-to-peer link to connect to the server where the video is. If you do not have one of these, you're going to go to device right here. Under device, if we click add, it gives us the ability to put in an IP domain, and then you can go to the unit directly. Now, I think I'm going to use an IP address here. And let's see here. We'll just call this storage. Okay, let me make an adjustment here. And once you've put in the correct credentials, see how it gives you a green link here? That means that you are now connected to that device, and you can pull that video up and you can see what you have there for live video and for playback. So that's under installing if you have an IP address. If you don't have an IP address but you have a cloud point-to-point, you can come here. Now, let's go to live view now that we have a device. This is your menu icon right here. It's blinking red as I hover over it. If we click here, it allows us to go to main view. And then you can see that we have video at this particular location. Now, if we back out of here and we go to system configuration, just a couple little things I want to do under system configuration, and it comes back to this video file that we created, because what we want to be able to do is when we download video or we take a quick snapshot of video, we want to know where it is. So we're going to direct this software to store those videos and those clips here in this folder. How we're going to do that is we are going to go to File, and then we're going to navigate to that folder that we just created. Now we're doing video files first, so we're going to say video downloads, and we're going to say select folder. So now every time, if you're in playback or you're in live, if you decide to make a backup of a video, it's going to send it to this folder that we created. And now we're going to do still images. So now these still images are going to go here. These video files are going to go here. We're going to save that one more time. And then what we need to do is we need to close the software and we need to reopen it. Now, there's a lot going on in the background with this client software. It's a pretty, it uses a lot of resources. So when we close this, we want to give it time to close. You don't want to close it and then instantly try to reopen it. Give it a few seconds to kind of catch its breath. I usually like to let it go 10 or 15 seconds, but the slower the PC, and you'll know that when you're installing this software because it'll go really slow. If it goes really quick installing the software, you don't have to wait as long. So let's go ahead and open this again. We get the same question, yes. And then the client software opened without us having to log in because we told it to auto log in. And now that we're back in, our changes to system config, file, these changes have been made permanent because we rebooted the software. So now we're going to go to our main menu, which is here in red. And we're going to go to main view. Here's this image again. And we also have access to, let's go to remote playback. Under remote playback, as you can see, somebody comes in, delivers a package. The analytics are accurately detecting the presence of a human, and it creates a file for that video clip that we can review. And if we wanted to download that and save it to our desktop, we could take a snapshot. You can see here that it stored that snapshot down below. And once we've got that, we can minimize this. We can come over here to our folder we created, go into still images, and here is that image that we just saved. And the video would be here under the video file as well. And you can see that I have the video, the still image right there. So we'll close this. We'll open this client up again. So let's review a couple of things real quick. Let's go to this red box, top left, and let's go to device management. We bring cameras in under device if we have the IP address or the domain name. We bring clients in server, I guess I should say server. We bring a video server in under the cloud P2P by clicking on add under P2P, stands for peer-to-peer. Select your country, hit login, put in your client's credentials here. Group. Under group, you have the ability to add and remove cameras. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have this client software installed and you connect it to a 32 channel NVR, but there's only 10 cameras on it. All 32 channels will come in, so you will have 22 unused channels. So you can come into group, you can select storage, which happens to be the particular location I'm connected to right now. And you can select encoding channels, and then you can say, hey, I don't need this camera, and you can delete it. Or maybe it's a video server that had 25 cameras on a 32 channel NVR, and you added 3 new cameras. So you would come into here and all 32 cameras would be listed, and you would scroll down and you would say, okay, I just added camera 26, 27, and 28. So you would select them, 26, 27, 28. And then you'd say add to group. And then it would import those new cameras over here on your main view. You would see your 3 new cameras added. Or if we were deleting cameras that we didn't have, you would see your 10 or 15 cameras that you're not using would no longer be displayed here. Again, that's done, the red link, go to device management, and it's done under group. Under group, we pick our recorder, we pick our encoding channels, and then we can add or delete cameras here and bring them in. Let's see here. Under live view, if you want to create a new view, let's say you've got 100 cameras and you only want to see 10 or 12 of them, we can come in here and we can drag our cameras from the left to the right, fill in these, let's say 9 boxes, and then we can save the view right here. And it's going to be a new view, and the name will be test. And we'll hit save, and you can see the new view populates right here under test. So under storage, you might have 100 cameras, but you may have exterior views here that you created. And then you might have manufacturing line views where it's just cameras of the manufacturing line. Then you might have just employee area, and there might be 10 cameras in the employee area, and maybe you create a new list for that. And maybe you have one for packing and shipping. So that's how you create custom views. Pick how many cameras you want to see at once. Populate them by dragging cameras from the left over to the right. You can see how I can do that. Then click here and hit save. And you'll have your new view created. Remote playback is very self-explanatory. You have a timeline on the bottom. You have your list of cameras on the left. And your calendar is right here. If you want to change the day that you want to look at, we just come in here. If you want to change a month, a little blue triangle in the bottom corner means that there is historical data on that day that you can review. If you select the day, select the camera, it'll populate the timeline, and then you just hit play. If you want to export video, there's a download tab right here, and it'll drop those video files right here in this video file that we created. And that'll help you get your client software installed and operational. Thank you.